cool. So do you just want to introduce yourself and what you do for the band?
I'm Andrew Winters and I'm the SisteRay's manager.
And how long have you been doing that for?
Since about managing, since about 1990.
Oh, wow. And how has it been so far managing SisteRay?
SisteRay, they're very good, yes. It's very difficult times, up and coming bands. It's a struggle. They have to identify themselves and tell their story. But yeah, it's a challenge. I used to manage band Dodgy actually in the 1990s. So, the comparison is a bit different. The music business has changed since then.
And so how do you think it's changed? Because that's the sort of the angle that we're going for at the moment. How would you say that it's changed? Obviously, you've got experience, so.
It's a lot more self-sufficient. And previously, record companies would get on a band early, right at the start, and help develop them. These days, managers, funds, other small labels have to develop bands and take them to a certain level before the major labels or any labels will invest. So it's like more challenging venture.
So it's more harder these days to sort of try and get the band up on feet.
It's hard, it's just different.
It's more, yeah, it's different.
Just different, yeah.
Okay, cool. So obviously you're aware. All in aid for small music venues. Yep. Obviously I've been following SisteRay for a while now and I've seen they've done a lot of gigs in Camden and stuff like that. So in your experience, obviously you've been doing this for a while now, how...
It's good to join us still here because, I've been coming here, so I used to play in bands in the mid-90s, mid-80s and probably played here, and Dodgy did one of their first ever gigs here. And so I've seen, I've always seen the Joiners. Joiners is an essential part of the British music scene really, and long may it remain.
Yeah, brilliant. That's really cool. And so, can you name other smaller music venues that have played an important part in what you do, and other bands and stuff? Or
there's obviously a lot in London. They changed, there are core venues around the country. The Zanzibar in Liverpool, King Tut's in Glasgow, where Alan McGee found Oasis.
Yeah, classic.
You put me on the spot now.
Sorry.
Manchester Night and Day. There are lots of venues that have held out. Bristol, Louisiana, Bristol Thekla. I could go on really.
Perfect. And so you'd obviously say that it's a really important thing, especially for new bands, to have these small venues.
It is, but more importantly, the key to all these small venues that the small venues will tell you is it's important for places like this. Dodgy did it, and I hope SisteRay will. It's important for bands to come back because bands often they play gigs at here and say that was fantastic. And they go off and they play, the Guildhall down the road, and they never think of the Joiners. And if you think, it's a weird example, someone like Prince. Prince would always play Wembley Arena, and then he'd come and play somewhere else. And so when bands turn up in their tour bus at the Guildhall, they should always come back to the Joiners, get some these days social media, catfish in the bottom, and look, they're back at the Joiners, meeting the small bands, meeting the fans, saying this venue is still alive. And that's what they really need to keep going. And bands come back and play gigs here. It doesn't matter when you're massive, you can come back and play I think Circa Waves played this. They started up at Seabright Arms and they went back and played a gig there the other night. Well, that's the thing to do to keep these places going. And it's the bands that can do it, Yeah.
So obviously it's really important to always remember where you started and remember your roots and stuff.
Whether you're a band or whether you're
anywhere. And the last question, are you sort of worried for the future of small music venues, or do you think we can carry on with it, or do you think, a lot of places have been closing down recently. Lennon's just opposite here actually just recently closed down.
I'm worried for the life of my 7-year-old daughter when Donald Trump's the president of America. So
I think we all are.
Let's put it into context. I think that bands and musicians, they have to find their audience. While people can get excited by bands and they can come here, the venues will be okay. It's when my brief big theory is that the music business, one thing in music is being dominated by a kind of middle class A&R ethos. Usually Dido used to be the one CD on the coffee table, and the bands would exist beyond that. Now record companies, all they want to do is fill up the coffee table with CDs. Coffee table music, plinky plonk music. There's a place for everything. But when the people working for the industry are more interested in how cool the image is matching with the music, then that makes it slightly harder for bands. But social media helps. If bands can get a message across, and then people will come.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Andrew.